Hello, my name is Evan Dean and I'm the Digital Communications Manager here at NARFE. Welcome to part 2 of Social Media Quick Start Training, Social Media as an Advocacy Tool.
Hello, my name is Seth Ickes and I am NARFE's Grassroots Assistant here in the Advocacy Department. Thank you for joining us today, and let's get started. So, let's kick things off by talking about social media and Congress. Let's kick things off by taking a look at social media and Congress. The booming use of social media is quickly replacing other traditional ways that constituents and lawmakers communicate, simply because social media provides speed and immediacy, reaches a large audience, allows instant connection, and, most importantly, lawmakers use social media to help shape political conversations, assessing which issues gain the most traction and reach. And because of all these reasons, you have a good opportunity to get attention and perhaps establish or strengthen an existing relationship with your lawmaker's office. Studies are showing the rapid shift of social media use among lawmakers, mainly through Facebook and Twitter. I want to direct your attention to this 2020 study that was conducted by the Pew Research Center. The study shows that social media is near ubiquitous among members of Congress, and the typical median member maintains 2 accounts on each platform, usually one official account and one personal or campaign account. In total, these members produce an enormous volume of social media content. Individually, members of Congress now post more content to Facebook and Twitter than was true 4 years ago. Comparing the first 5 months of 2020 to a similar period in 2016, the median member of Congress created 16 more Facebook posts, an increase of 48%, and 48 more tweets, an increase of 81% per month. On average, these posts also received substantially more audience engagement, whether measured by reactions and favorites or by shares and retweets. Now, let's talk about how you can engage with your lawmakers on social media platforms. So, now that we know Congress is active on social media, let's talk about how you can engage with your lawmakers and the role social media can play in relationship building between NARFE members and lawmakers. Here's a few things you can do to interact with your lawmakers on social media. You can tag your lawmaker in or repost NARFE's social media posts to your lawmaker's social media pages. You can tweet at your lawmaker through NARFE's Legislative Action Center, which we will discuss in further detail later in the presentation. And remember, social media interactions with your lawmaker don't always have to be about NARFE business. Posts not related to NARFE should not be done through NARFE channels or using your NARFE position. Those should be done through a personal account. Be sure to follow your lawmakers on social media so you can get daily notifications and stay informed on your lawmakers' positions. Like I mentioned earlier, 100% of lawmakers are on social media, mostly on Facebook and Twitter. Most lawmakers have both an official account and a personal account, like the example given here. You should follow both account types for each of your legislators, but focus your advocacy on their official account. Like with other types of advocacy, you should focus your engagement on social media as a NARFE advocate with lawmakers you are a constituent of, specifically your representative and your 2 senators. Social media is all about making connections, and you should encourage fellow NARFE members in your chapter or federation to get involved. You can help foster new connections on social media by asking other NARFE members, your friends and family, and your online connections to get involved. Share NARFE's advocacy campaigns on your pages and encourage others to take action. Follow each other. Get connected with NARFE members in your area or nationally on social media by following each other on Twitter or other platforms. Be sure to post about events you have attended with your lawmaker. Post pictures of your meetings if you have a meeting with your lawmaker. For online video meetings, take a screenshot. Just be sure to get permission first. Remember to tag your lawmakers' social media accounts in the photo, and they might just share it to their page. You should also post photos of NARFE participation at local town hall events, community events, and more. Now, let's talk about how you can use NARFE's Legislative Action Center to engage with your lawmakers on social media platforms. NARFE's Legislative Action Center is a great way to conveniently engage with your lawmakers on social media. While you're sending a letter or making a phone call to your legislator through the Action Center, you can also send a fully customizable tweet on most of NARFE's legislative priorities. This feature only applies to Twitter. We do not have this function for other social media platforms. To get started, visit the NARFE website, hover over the Advocacy tab, and click Take Action, which will take you straight to the Legislative Action Center. Once you have reached the Legislative Action Center, you should now select the campaign you would like to act on. For this example, we are going to choose our Take Action to Repeal the WEP and GPO campaign as shown on your screen. Once you have accessed the campaign, scroll down and click the Tweet button. Then you can customize our pre-written tweet with a maximum of 280 characters. Once your tweet is ready, click the Tweet button to publish your post to your members of Congress. This will tag your lawmaker's official account in the tweet, highlighting the post in their Notifications tab. If it is your first time tweeting through the Legislative Action Center, a new window will open prompting you to connect your Twitter account, as shown here on the slide. Now I'm going to hand things over to Evan, who will talk about how you can participate in a social media advocacy campaign.
There are lots of different ways that you can participate in a social media advocacy campaign. You can share posts and ask your friends to share. You can engage with posts from NARFE or your lawmakers or other groups. You could change your profile photo or add a frame to show your support for a cause. And you can also share your own personal story with a photo or video. Now we'll talk about sharing and engaging with posts. Sharing a post simply means taking a post from another group or person and putting it on your own page. Engaging with posts means things like commenting, liking, retweeting, reacting, all of the things that you can see here. Engaging with posts will boost their visibility, and it allows you an opportunity to add your voice to the conversation. You can also do this to start new conversations on topics that are already being discussed. Profile photo campaigns are an increasingly popular way to participate in advocacy campaigns. You probably recognize some of the ones on this slide below. They can be logos or frames, and they provide visibility for an issue or organization on every post you make. They also allow you to express solidarity with a group or cause. Sharing your personal story on social media with a photo or video is the most effective way to participate in a social media advocacy campaign. Videos are at least twice as likely to be engaged with, no matter what platform you're using. You'll want to make sure that your videos are short and concise. For Facebook, that should be between 3 and 5 minutes. Twitter only allows you 2 minutes and 20 seconds for videos, so you'll have to keep it short. You should also use hashtags in your post to link to the campaigns you're referring to or the organization that you're supporting. And then you'll want to end by giving your viewers an action to take. Asking them to sign a petition, create their own video, contact their lawmakers. These are all great options that you can add to your post. And now we'll talk a little bit about social media etiquette. If you've seen part 1 of this presentation, this slide should look familiar. As we said before, social media, like any other form of communication, is governed by an unspoken set of rules that users expect other users to follow. And while each platform does have its own considerations to make here, we've put together a universal list of do's and don'ts to help get you started. You'll want to start out by being as authentic and genuine as possible, and post regularly. Make sure that you're interacting positively with others, which goes right into thinking before you post. If you wouldn't say something to someone in person or wouldn't say it out loud, you probably shouldn't post it either. And lastly, you'll want to treat others on social media how you wish to be treated there for the best experience. Just as it's important to be authentic and genuine, it's very important to not be overly promotional or post too frequently. This will cause your followers to lose interest and they'll start just scrolling past your posts. You also never want to tag a friend in a photo or video without their permission. And while hashtags are great to use, you don't want to overuse them. They can make posts confusing. And lastly, you want to make sure that your posts are free of any spelling and grammatical errors. Everyone makes mistakes, but it shouldn't be all the time.
Thanks, Evan. Now I want to briefly discuss where you can find NARFE on social media. Thanks, Evan. And finally, be sure to follow NARFE on social media. You can follow us on Twitter at NARFEHQ. You can like us on Facebook, also at NARFEHQ. And you can follow us on LinkedIn at NARFE. Thank you for participating in part 2 of our social media webinar series. If you have any questions, feel free to email us at the addresses shown here on the slide. Thanks again.